Hi, I'm Garrett Ludwig, President of Diversified Design Technologies. Welcome to another of our essential dental office design planning guides. This one refers to spatial needs calculations to accommodate ADA, HIPAA, and life safety. I feel like most people have thought of ADA accessibility equates to a ramp or perhaps a 5-foot turning radius in a lavatory. Of course, both are correct, but the oversight is in passageway widths and latch-side door access. So let me address them in that sequence. As with many code requirements, there are exceptions. The actual minimum passageway must measure no less than 44 inches. Due to the volume of traffic in most offices, we use a minimum of 48-inch widths. So it's a relatively simple calculation, but it doesn't end there. Here are the basic edicts for a latch side approach to a hinged door. The space from the latch side of the door to any obstruction, such as a partition or a piece of furniture on the pull side, is 18 inches. That space on the push side is 12 inches. In general, this is not a profound space consumption factor. Where this code mandate becomes imposing is at the end of a passageway. So if you have a 48-inch wide passageway, that won't allow you to provide a door and create the 18-inch clearance. To clarify, a typical door jamb on the hinge side of the door measures 4 inches on average. A typical commercial door measures 36 inches wide. If you then add the 18-inch latch side approach, you need a minimum of a 58-inch space. So now we have to accommodate HIPAA compliance. Again, most people are concerned about the security of its patient data, such as a secured server. What is often overlooked in the design process is the visual alignment to a computer monitor by patients waiting to be processed. It is, therefore, essential that the monitors are not visible to the patients. And that's not the worst problem. I constantly witness conversations that take place within earshot of others, like, what's your date of birth? Or what's your social security number? Or did you take your meds? Think about the latter. Staff may be concerned about pre-medication for a congenital heart issue. The listener may think that Mrs. Johnson needs a psychotropic sedative. Lest we forget, the P in HIPAA stands for privacy. So how do we address that potential invasion of the patient's privacy? Space, more space. Since most offices have one departure area and there is constant traffic in that area, we commonly make the passageway as wide as 5 or 6 feet. That allows for passage of other patients while maintaining sufficient space around the party, completing their scheduling and financial details to communicate confidentially with the office staff. The impact on the square footage, although fairly modest, needs to be included in the entire space calculation. However, it ain't over yet. Life safety regulations mandate that the travel distance from the furthest corner of the office to the most proximal egress must be no greater than the number of feet listed in the code regarding the occupancy. That is the number of persons present at any given time. Most commonly in an average contemporary office, the distance would be a maximum of 100 feet. One of the most difficult design challenges is to achieve this compliance while maintaining circulatory flow to accommodate life safety regulations. Basically, the fire marshal wants to see if you can exit safely in an emergency. The most critical code restriction is against dead-ended corridors. So, for example, the length of a dead end, no alternate access, passageway cannot exceed 20 feet before reaching a bifurcation. That is the ability to turn left or right at the end of the 20-foot span. This commonly adds to the length of the passageways and then must be multiplied by the 4-foot width dimension. Our approach is to assess the existing conditions and apply a varying percentage of your gross square footage to cover the passageway spatial needs. Cumulatively, we have assigned as much as 240 lineal feet in a 4,000 square foot office. If you multiply those times the average of 4-foot widths, it will equal 960 square feet, or 25% of the total space. If you're experiencing confusion about any of these criteria, would like us to evaluate your proposed facility for feasibility of development, please give us a call at 860-652-0841. Thanks for joining.